The way we make decisions is rarely as rational as we imagine. Most of the time, our choices are guided by invisible forces. Influence, persuasion, and subtle psychological triggers that shape our behavior without us ever noticing. But once you understand these forces, you can make better decisions, recognize when you're being swayed, and even guide others, ethically. This is Influence, the Psychology of Persuasion, by Robert Cialdini. Welcome to Beyond the Books, where we break down powerful ideas for sharper thinking and better living. The world doesn't move on logic alone. It moves on influence. Robert Cialdini spent decades asking one deceptively simple question. Why do people say yes? Why we comply? Why we agree, often without realizing it. What he discovered wasn't chaos. It wasn't random. It was patterned, predictable, almost mechanical. Cialdini shows that human beings rely on mental shortcuts. Most of the time, those shortcuts help us move through life. They save energy. They speed up decisions. They help us respond without analyzing everything from scratch. But when someone knows the trigger, they can activate the response. And once you see these patterns, the real machinery of human behavior, you can never unsee it. Before the 6 principles, Cialdini gives us the foundation. Fixed action patterns. In nature, certain animals respond automatically to specific trigger features. A small cue can set off a whole chain of behavior. Humans are more complex, but we do something similar. A symbol of authority, a limited time offer, a gift, a crowd, a familiar face, a shared identity. One small trigger can switch on a powerful response. The danger is not that these shortcuts are useless. The danger is that they can be used without earning the trust behind them. Influence begins when a trigger bypasses careful thought. Freedom begins when you learn to pause before the trigger becomes a decision. The first principle, reciprocity. Humans have an almost automatic drive to return favors. If someone gives to us, we feel the quiet tug. I should give back. Think about the last free sample you accepted in a grocery store. A cube of cheese, a square of chocolate. It costs the company nearly nothing, but something stirs inside you. An invisible sense of obligation. Suddenly, the full package is in your cart. Why? Because reciprocity is wired into our survival. Communities once depended on exchanges of help, and those who didn't return favors risked being cut off. Our emotions still carry that ancient contract. Cialdini shows this clearly in the famous Hare Krishna example. Members would give people a small flower or gift in public places. Many people didn't even want it. But once they accepted it, refusing a donation felt harder. The gift came first. The obligation followed. And reciprocity doesn't even have to be equal. A small gesture can trigger a much larger one in return. A free drink can lead to a dinner invitation. A minor concession in a negotiation can unlock a major one. The effect is stronger when the gesture feels personal or unexpected. A mint with your restaurant check can lift your tip. 2 mints, offered warmly with eye contact, the tip jumps higher. Humans aren't calculators. We are relational creatures. Our sense of fairness is elastic, and that elasticity can be guided or gamed. The second principle, commitment and consistency. Once we commit to something, big or small, we feel pressure to act consistently with that choice. We want to match who we said we were. Imagine someone asks you to place a tiny, support safe driving sign in your yard. You agree. Weeks later, they return with a massive billboard. Most strangers would refuse. But those who said yes to the little sign, they're far more likely to agree. This is the foot in the door effect. A small yes plants the seed for a bigger one. Breaking that pattern creates inner friction, cognitive dissonance. We'd rather live consistently than face the discomfort of feeling inconsistent. Marketers know this. Salespeople know this. Cults know this. A single favor becomes a foothold. An hour of your time becomes a belief, becomes a lifetime commitment. The lesson? To influence ethically. Help people commit to choices that truly match their values. To protect yourself. Notice the first yes you give. It's often the seed of many more. The third principle, social proof. Humans are social learners. When uncertain, we scan the room. What are other people doing? 2 restaurants. 1 with a line out the door. 1 empty. Your brain whispers, the busy one must be better. It's not irrational, it's adaptive. In a confusing world, the crowd often signals safety. But social proof is a double-edged sword. It's strongest when we feel unsure, and even stronger when the people look like us. Online reviews? We don't read all 4,000. We glance at the stars. If thousands approve, we trust, often without touching the product. Even laugh tracks work the same way. You know the laughter is fake, yet it nudges you to smile. The crowd can make us comfortable long before it makes us correct. The defense is awareness. Check the source. Are you following knowledge or just following followers? The fourth principle, liking. We are more likely to say yes to people we like, and liking can be crafted. We feel drawn to those who seem similar, who compliment us, who cooperate with us, who make us feel seen. The car salesperson notices your hiking boots. Suddenly, they love hiking too. They mirror your gestures, admire your watch, and you relax without realizing why. Advertisers know this. Influencers thrive on it. Con artists depend on it. Sometimes, we trust the performance of someone who simply knows how to play us back to ourselves. The subtle defense is to pause and ask, do I like them, or do I just like how they make me feel? The fifth principle, authority. When an expert speaks, we listen. Often, we obey. Even the symbols of authority, doctors' coats, titles, uniforms, can flip the compliance switch in our minds. In the famous Milgram study, participants believed they were delivering electric shocks to strangers. A man in a lab coat told them to continue. Many obeyed, even when they believed the shocks had reached dangerous levels. Our ancestors survived by deferring to credible leaders. Authority gave structure in a dangerous, uncertain world. But today, we often mistake the appearance of authority for substance. A confident tone, a polished stage, an impressive title. We follow the voice that sounds certain, even if it has nothing to say. The defense? Respect authority, but verify it. Don't outsource your judgment to a lab coat alone. The sixth principle, scarcity. When something feels limited, it feels more valuable. A flash sale. Only 3 left in stock. Doors close at midnight. Scarcity triggers 2 forces. Loss aversion. We fear missing out. Reactance. We want what we're told we can't have. Even information feels heavier when it's scarce. Insider access. Exclusive tips. Scarcity is strongest when we see competition. If others are chasing the same rare thing, desire ignites. Auctions escalate. Virality fuels urgency. We don't just want the rare thing, we want to win the race for it. The defense is the pause. Ask yourself, do I want this, or do I just want to stop feeling it slip away? There is also another force Cialdini emphasizes in newer editions. Unity. Unity is deeper than liking. Liking says, I enjoy this person. Unity says, this person is one of us. Family, community, nation, team, tribe, shared struggle, shared identity. When someone feels like part of your we, resistance drops. Their request no longer feels like pressure from the outside. It feels like loyalty from within. This can be beautiful when it creates trust, sacrifice, and belonging. But it can also be dangerous when identity is used to bypass judgment. The defense is simple. Ask, is this truly aligned with our shared values? Or is belonging being used to make me stop thinking? Cialdini also explains the contrast principle. This one is quieter, but it shapes decisions everywhere. We judge things not only by what they are, but by what they are compared to. A suit seems less expensive after you've looked at a much pricier one. A real estate agent can show you a poor house first, so the next one feels better by contrast. A salesperson can present the most expensive package first, so the middle option feels reasonable. The thing didn't change. The frame changed. Contrast bends perception before logic ever gets involved. The defense is to separate the offer from the comparison. Ask, would I still want this if I saw it first? But here's the truth most people miss. These principles don't work in isolation. They stack. They compound. Reciprocity opens the door. Commitment keeps you inside. Social proof comforts you. Liking makes you trust the guide. Authority tells you to follow. Scarcity pushes you to act. Fast. Unity makes it feel like loyalty. Contrast makes the offer feel better than it is. One principle nudges. Several together can move nations, or quietly move you. Cialdini doesn't just reveal persuasion. He reveals the architecture of influence. Once you see this blueprint behind a yes, you can never give it blindly again. Influence isn't just knowledge. It's awareness. Next time you feel pulled to agree, pause. Ask yourself which principle is at play. Then use a simple defense. Pause. Name the principle. Separate the trigger from the truth. Then decide. Is this a real reason? Or just a psychological shortcut being activated? And if you use influence on others, use it to clarify real value. Not to pressure people into choices that serve you while harming them. The best use of influence is ethical. Helping people say yes to what genuinely benefits them. The key takeaway from influence is that persuasion works best when it feels automatic. So today, before you say yes to a purchase, request, offer, invitation, or online claim, pause and name the principle being used. Is it reciprocity, commitment, social proof, liking, authority, scarcity, unity, contrast? Comment below with the moment where you caught influence in action. If this helped you understand influence more clearly, like this video and subscribe to Beyond the Books. And if there's a book you want to truly understand, let us know in the comments. Beyond the Books, where better thinking begins before yes.